Good morning, everybody. I cannot wait till it actually is a light in the morning going to work. I got a comment about maybe turning off the stabilizer, which in GoPro is the, I think it's the Hyper Smooth it's called. So I turned it off, so let's just see what it does. It's maybe a little bit better viewing experience for everybody. Just kind of, let me know what you think. I probably won't get a chance to upload these till probably late tonight. We currently are at 27 degrees. Our heat wave of 44 is gone. And I do have 140 on the battery, which is 129 estimated miles on the battery. I still have it in standard mode. And if you notice, he moved very gently out of the way of that person standing there on the side of the road. It is in standard mode, so let's just see how it does today. I'm going to try not to bump it down at all when we get on the highway. Again, it is 33 here. We're doing 24. There are a lot of bumps. I don't know if FSD is taking that into consideration as far as the speed goes. One thing I have noticed is that FSD is, at least with this version, we're on 14.2.2.2, is extremely smooth, definitely more human-like than it was before. There are still what I call very robotic moves, and if that does happen, I'll try to point them out for you. As far as going around corners or like turning left at that light like it just did, it's very smooth. It does not feel like it's doing a G-force around it. So it's very comfortable, very similar to what a human would do, although I have a feeling most humans, and myself included, probably would take it a little bit faster going around that, taking that left turn. So we have a city bus over here. For some reason, a couple drives I've had where it wants to stop at that city bus like it was a school bus. Today it did not. Glad to feel that. But this version, like I said in the past, this new version here is definitely a big improvement over the holiday update. And this one rolled out like 1 week later because I think there were so many issues that I think they wanted to do a quick patch release. And so far, since I have had the Cybertruck and been using FSD, I think we're on about 5 months now that I've had it, this so far seems to be the best version. Yeah, little quirk things here and there. The speed profiles are still, I don't know, weird. If you notice those striped lines on there, 9 times out of 10, and now it's almost 10 out of 10, it seems like it's going to go in this lane. It sees those lines and it suddenly kind of swerves to the left. The feel of it is a little on the kind of jerky side in a sense, like it's kind of like quickly, like you're maneuvering out of like an obstacle or something in the way. On the past versions, it was like a 50-50. Sometimes it would run over those lines, sometimes it would go around. And although it kind of rode that all the way out to the end, the move over to the left was a lot smoother than it has been in the past. Very easy. I think most of us human drivers, since there was nothing on our left-hand side, probably would have pulled out and gotten into the lane a lot faster. But if you were just a passenger or in the back seat, or you wouldn't even notice that that had happened at all. But I will say the cutting in and out and lane changing is very, very smooth. It's very natural. It's nothing that's jerky at all. It's not a hard move over left or right. It just feathers itself right on in. Now we're coming up to 55 highway. We are on this on-ramp. It is kind of getting back up to speed. It usually will do fairly well here. We got this one little cornering here. And normally as a human driver, I'd be kind of flooring it to get over. There's nothing on our left-hand side. And that was nicely done. Feathered itself right in. We are at 55. It's up to almost 60. So keep track of the speed, and let's just see what it does. And this is in standard, not hurry or Mad Max. Alright, that was nicely done. Very smooth getting over to the middle lane. These cars are turning. This is the lane we do eventually want anyway. But that was really nicely done. There was nothing behind us or the side of us, and plenty of room. I did clean all these cameras last night, and look at the rear view. I cleaned them before I got home. That's so strange. Well, it's so cold out here, they're probably kind of fogged up. Alright, I do feel a slight acceleration, and there we go. I see it monitored. It got up there, 61. Remember, we're at 55. Very slight acceleration. It was nothing that was, you know, put you back in your seat. Lane centering since the updated about, I don't know, 2 or 3 versions ago, for the Cybertruck anyway, is much improved. It stays right in the center, so you don't feel like you're drifting one way or the other. And you can kind of see it on the screen there. It's sort of centered right between the 2 lines. As you can tell, cars usually go a little faster on this stretch anyway. I do like that we're staying at 60. That's actually really good. In the past, we've had it up to almost 68, 70, so it's good to see. Good to see it kind of sticking at a little bit more appropriate speed. We are coming up on this really sharp corner curb coming up around here. This curve used to be a lot more extreme. I'm sorry we don't have it now. They took down half the mountain and redesigned this whole entire road, but it was called Kamikaze Curve for a reason, because there were so many accidents and people took it really too fast for, I guess, the speeds. But it was really, really fun to go, I hate to say it, fast around that Kamikaze Curve. Alright, now this is where I've had issues before. The past couple drives have been doing very well. We have to get over 2 lanes, and we have to get over 2 lanes fairly quickly because the exit's coming right up. In the past, it used to go 1 lane, stop, hesitate, and go the next lane. What I'm looking for is it to blend all the way across, and perfectly done. That was perfect. Very smooth. Right across. Just very human-like, something I would have done. None of that stopping in the lane, hesitate, and go over. The hesitations as far as FSD goes on this version versus the ones in the past have greatly reduced. It really does feel more human-like. It slows down here coming around the ramp, so you don't feel like it's going to be taking it too hard, too fast. It's not throwing you to the side of the car. And the automatic lights the brights just came on. So, and then turned off because it saw a car. Oh, see, that was better too. It didn't fully stop. In the past, it would kind of stop and then sort of hesitate and then go. That was very smooth, went right through that yield sign just as it should. That's exactly what I would have done. And we're coming up on traffic circle number 2. We actually have 4 in our area. These are the 2 consecutive ones that we have. Oh, now this is new. Okay, I do not know why it's doing this. It's always been in the left-hand side. This side is okay. That's not a problem with having a left side. It's just a change, and I'm not sure why I decided to pick that lane versus the other lane, because we actually do have to be in the left lane to turn into the parking lot. And now it's getting over. So that was a little bit awkward, and that's more of a navigation issue, not so much of a FSD. It just makes it awkward. You know, if it had been very crowded, it would have held people up. but FSD handled it. It did fine. That wasn't the issue. It's just, again, that navigation lane selection, and it has never gone on that right hand side. It's always taken the left hand side. So it's just kind of interesting to see why it chose one versus the other when the past history says that it's always been on that left side. After this third car here, which for some reason is really slowed down, it should go very smoothly. And let's see how it's parking. If we don't have anybody behind us, hopefully, I think it's gonna back in. I really don't like parking here, but I'm gonna let it do its thing, and then I might just switch it around. Let's just see. There's your lines here. You can kind of see the backing there. I think that person might be a little over. There's no one coming, so, oh, there's, yep, okay, yep, we're good. Wow, that was actually really nicely done. Very centered. You can see here and here. That's very centered. That actually is a really, really good parking job. The parking is a little sometimes hit and miss. It did self-correct on one of my videos. It backed itself out and recentered. So, all right, so that's it for today. We are now at 38%. We left at 40. We're at 38. And we'll do one more on the way home, and that'll be it for today. All right, have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Okay, we are back, and we are going to head to my mom's house. We currently are at 37% on the battery. That's where I left it this morning. And it is 37 degrees outside. And we are in standard. So that little jab that, if you just noticed it there, it always stops behind the stop sign, and then it creeps up. So it kind of creeped up and then sort of did a little bit of a harder stop because there were cars coming. So it kind of quickly stopped not to pull out in front of them. So let's see how it takes this traffic circle today. Normally it's in the left side of here. This side, really, you're not supposed to be on this side if you want to take the highway. Yep, see? That was completely incorrect. Felt very awkward, weird, and it was just wrong. And again, that's the first time it's done that. It did it a while back, but so this morning it was incorrect. Well, I shouldn't say it was incorrect. It was correct. It was just unusual and a variation from its normal pattern. This one was completely incorrect. So had there been cars on my left-hand side, we would have either, well, we wouldn't have run into them, but we would have either cut them off, or it would have had to quickly re-navigate. So when it does wrong lane selections like that, it just usually feels kind of awkward. It just gets out of the flow of what traffic would normally be doing, and it just makes things just very inconvenient and annoying to passengers, other drivers, etc. I don't know why it regressed on that kind of pattern. We'll have to see if it does it again later on this week. If I have this, I'm taking my mom back to Florida this weekend, so I really do need to drive her car around. So it's kind of been sitting. I've been starting it, but I really do need to drive it and kind of make sure it's doing okay. We had some issues on the way up, so I'm not sure how much I'll be using the Cybertruck this week. Probably at least maybe a couple more times to see my clients on Tuesday and Friday, but I think Wednesday, Thursday, I probably will just drive it to work. it's very smooth. It's keeping at 61. Granted, there are cars in front of us that are keeping us at a slower pace. Alright, it's 55 through here. We're at 65, 66. So far it's centering well, feels smooth, keeping a nice distance between the car in front. And we are coming up on an exit here, 71 South. So it's slowing down, anticipating that. It actually does really well with its speed and the G-force around these type of exit ramps. So it's very, very smooth. You don't feel like you're being thrown to the side or being whipped around. Very comfortable. Alright, so let's see how it does there. It really should be in the right-hand lane. Oh, and see, and today it does that. The past couple times it has not. This is absolutely correct. This is where it should be. I'm glad to see that at least that behavior is back. I don't know what this car is doing, but FSD slowed down nicely for it and will get out of its way. Perfect. And they're on their cell phone over there. That's probably why they weren't paying attention to the road. So it was very strange. It kind of messed up the lane selection at the traffic circle, but it did very well on getting over to the correct lane selection and pretty far back. That's exactly where I would normally get over to get in there, to line yourself up. I mean, sometimes it's just easier to try to line yourself up to where you need to get to. It's just a lot smoother. And sometimes that's what FSD does not do, or navigation doesn't do, is line things up for future turns as well sometimes as I would like for it to. Okay, well, that was nicely done. A little bit on a harder stop, but that was fine. It anticipated that yellow, and it did brake appropriately. Very long light here. Alright, now we're off. nice pickup on that. No hesitation, no delays. That really, I think, has been a really good improvement, is the lack of hesitancy on its decisions that it does. Light turns green and it goes. Used to be the light would turn green and it seemed like it was probably a half a second to a second before it responded. Okay, we do have a person here. Alright, we do have right on red. Oops, here comes another person, and it will wait. Alright, now they have a green light on that side, so they will go, and then after this car, we should turn. So that was nicely done. It saw the people, waited, saw the other one getting ready to cross, and waited. Pedestrians always do take priority. Now we're coming up on a school bus. Okay, I don't really know why it's stopping on the fact. Why? Okay, just go. But alright, they had a stop sign that, and granted, this car, FSD sort of stopped, anticipating that he was getting ready to go. I don't know, that was just weird and awkward. I blame the other guy. He should have stopped and waited. It threw FSD off, and then that's a computer. If it was me driving, I would have just gone and taken it. I wouldn't have even hesitated. So that's a computer-like move versus a human-like move. So even though sometimes it feels, a lot of times it does feel human-like, it's still a computer and it will still behave like a computer. There's just certain things that we as humans know and do and anticipate that I don't know the computer will ever really learn those little fine nuances. And I have no idea who has parked in front of Mom's house here, so I've got to pick her up, and we're gonna have to move close to this car in front because she needs to get onto the pad of the car. Usually it does actually pull up further, but because this car is here, all right, let's see if we can kind of get up close enough. There we go. All right, we're not too far, not too close, but all right, guys, thanks a lot for following along, and I probably might have to go charging tonight. If that's the case, then I may film that. We will catch you on the next one.